The Egyptian Empire, one of the oldest and most influential civilizations in history, left behind a legacy that continues to fascinate us today. However, it wasn't all smooth sailing for the Egyptians. They, like all of us, made mistakes that had far-reaching consequences. One such blunder was their excessive reliance on the Nile River for sustenance. This dependence proved to be a double-edged sword, leading to both prosperity and peril. In the fertile lands along the Nile, the Egyptians flourished. Agriculture thrived, and this led to population growth and the development of cities. The river also served as a highway for trade and communication, connecting different parts of their empire. However, when the Nile flooded, it caused massive destruction, wiping out entire settlements. Without the technology to predict floods, the Egyptians were at the mercy of the river's whims. The construction of dams and levees, while helpful, was not enough to prevent the disasters. The annual flooding of the Nile became a gamble with nature, determining whether the Egyptians would enjoy bountiful harvests or face famine. This unpredictable cycle of boom and bust ultimately contributed to the decline of their civilization, serving as a stark reminder of the perils of overdependence on natural resources. Ancient Mesopotamia, often referred to as the cradle of civilization, gave birth to some of the world's first cities, including the famed Sumerian city of Ur. Ur was a bustling hub of trade and culture, but the story of its downfall serves as a potent lesson in the dangers of unchecked environmental exploitation. As Ur prospered, its citizens expanded their agricultural lands to meet the demands of a growing population. They cleared forests, drained marshes, and diverted rivers to create fertile fields. But this came at a cost. The deforestation led to soil erosion and the loss of natural habitats. The diversion of water sources disrupted the delicate balance of the local ecosystem. The land, once rich and productive, began to suffer. Crops failed and famine loomed. The very prosperity that had made Ur great now threatened its existence. Faced with dwindling resources, Ur's citizens were forced to make tough choices, leaving behind their homeland in search of new settlements with more sustainable environments. The story of Ur stands as a testament to the fragility of human progress and the importance of respecting the limits of the natural world. The Roman Empire, a titan of its time, stretched from the Atlantic coast of Britain to the deserts of North Africa and the heartland of Asia Minor. At its peak, Rome was a beacon of power and influence. Yet its eventual collapse offers a sobering lesson in the pitfalls of unchecked expansion. Rome's relentless pursuit of conquest led to the absorption of vast territories and diverse populations. This territorial expansion, while initially successful, sowed the seeds of the empire's demise. As Rome's borders grew, so did the complexity of managing such a vast realm. The influx of conquered peoples also introduced social tensions and cultural conflicts, weakening the empire's unity. Moreover, the military campaigns required to maintain and expand the empire drained Rome's resources. Defending such extensive borders became a costly endeavor, stretching the empire's finances and manpower thin. The weight of maintaining order and security across 3 continents eventually proved too burdensome, contributing significantly to the decline and fall of the Roman Empire. Their sprawling ambitions, once a source of power and prestige, transformed into a fatal flaw, offering a timeless cautionary tale about the perils of unchecked expansion. The French Revolution, a period of radical social and political upheaval in France, sent shockwaves across Europe in the late 18th century. It marked a decisive break from the absolute monarchy of the Ancien Regime and the privileges of the nobility towards a new era of democracy and republicanism. But the revolution's legacy is marred by a tragic twist. The Reign of Terror, a dark chapter of the revolution, saw the rise of the guillotine and the dominance of the radical Jacobins under Maximilien Robespierre. Thousands were executed in a climate of fear and suspicion, leading to a climate of terror. Eventually, Robespierre himself met the same fate, guillotined on July 1794. This extreme and violent phase of the revolution not only took innocent lives, but also tarnished the ideals of liberty and equality that the revolution had championed. The French Revolution, with its blend of idealism and brutality, remains a potent symbol of the complexities of revolutionary change, reminding us of the fine line between progress and extremism. The Industrial Revolution, a transformative period in history, witnessed unprecedented technological advancements that reshaped economies and societies across the globe. It began in Great Britain during the late 18th century and quickly spread to other parts of Europe and North America. But this era of progress came at a steep cost. The rapid industrialization led to severe air and water pollution, transforming cities into smoky, unsanitary places. The concentration of factories in urban areas resulted in overcrowding and inadequate housing conditions for the burgeoning working class. Child labor became rampant, with children as young as 5 years old working in hazardous conditions. The pursuit of efficiency and profit often came at the expense of workers' rights and safety. The Industrial Revolution, while propelling humanity into an era of technological advancement, laid bare the darker side of unbridled industrialization, setting the stage for future movements advocating for workers' rights and environmental protection. World War I, a global conflict that engulfed Europe and beyond from 1914 to 1918, was a watershed moment in human history. It pitted the Allied powers against the Central Powers in a conflict that would alter the world order. What started as a conflict over European colonies quickly escalated into a global war. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire, by a Serbian nationalist in Sarajevo triggered the conflict. As alliances were activated, the war drew in nations from across the globe. The conflict was brutal, with new technologies like machine guns, poison gas, and tanks causing unprecedented casualties. World War not only resulted in the deaths of millions, but also left lasting social, economic, and political scars. The war's impact extended beyond Europe, affecting colonies and dependencies worldwide. It challenged long-held empires and led to the collapse of several European monarchies. World War's legacy includes the redrawing of borders, the rise of new ideologies, and the seeds of future conflicts, leaving an indelible mark on the 20th century and beyond. World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history, engulfed the globe from 1939 to 1945. Fueled by aggressive nationalism, militarism, and the pursuit of global domination, the war was a stark reminder of humanity's capacity for immense destruction. The war began with Germany's invasion of Poland, leading to the formation of two powerful alliances, the Axis powers and the Allies. The conflict witnessed some of the darkest chapters in human history, including the Holocaust, the systematic genocide of Jews and other minorities by Nazi Germany. The use of atomic weapons against Japan brought the war to an end, but not without devastating consequences. World War II reshaped the global balance of power, leading to the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers. The war's aftermath also saw the establishment of the United Nations and the beginning of the Cold War. World War I's profound impact continues to shape international relations, political alignments, and technological developments even today. The Cold War, a protracted period of geopolitical tension between the United States and the Soviet Union and their respective allies, dominated the latter half of the 20th century. It was a clash of ideologies between democracy and communism, capitalism and socialism. While there was no large-scale direct conflict between the superpowers, the Cold War was marked by an arms race, proxy wars, and a constant threat of nuclear annihilation. The formation of NATO and the Warsaw Pact solidified the division of Europe into opposing camps. The Korean War, the Vietnam War, and conflicts in Afghanistan and Angola became battlegrounds for the superpowers' rivalry. The threat of mutually assured destruction kept the world on edge. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 marks the end of the Cold War and ushered in a new era in international relations. The Cold War's legacy includes the proliferation of nuclear weapons, the impact on developing nations, and the lasting effects on global politics. The COVID-19 pandemic, a global health crisis that emerged in 2019, has had profound implications for societies worldwide. Caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus, the pandemic has affected nearly every country and resulted in widespread illness, economic disruption, and profound social changes. The rapid spread of the virus led to lockdowns, travel restrictions, and the closure of businesses, impacting millions of livelihoods. The healthcare systems of many countries were overwhelmed, straining medical facilities and personnel. The pandemic also fueled misinformation and social polarization. As the world grapples with the health and economic challenges posed by COVID-19, it has accelerated existing trends such as telemedicine, remote work, and online education. The long-term effects of the pandemic on public health, the economy, and society remain to be seen, but it has undoubtedly been a defining global event of the 21st century. Each of these moments represents a significant turning point in human history. They serve as stark reminders of the complexities of progress, the pitfalls of unchecked ambition, and the enduring spirit of humanity in the face of adversity. Understanding these pivotal moments is crucial for navigating the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. As we reflect on these monumental events, we gain insight into the forces that have shaped our world and the choices that will define our future. The future is not set in stone. By learning from the triumphs and missteps of the past, we can strive to create a better, more sustainable, and equitable world for generations to come.